Why y'all there? Lord have mercy, what a blessing. I'm Dan. I want to welcome everyone to my home in the sticks. Wherever you are at in the world, I hope that you're having a great week and everything's good with you. But over here in East Central Mississippi, I'm here to tell you the weather's real wacky. It's in the high 40s right now, pretty chilly this morning. It was in the really low 30s, but the sun is out. But it's still chilly. Before we get started on today's video, I'm always going to say that if you are new to this channel, I want to welcome you. And if you returning just to see what old Dan's got going on over here, I sure enough thank you for coming back. But what I want to share with you and y'all today is, Lord of mercy, I've had a few folks say, Dan, when are you going to do some hand loading videos? Well, it's kind of chilly outside today. I figure we head off into the reloading shack and yeah, give me a second and we'll talk about some reloading stuff. Dan, what are we going to talk about hand loading wise today? Well, several months ago, probably maybe even last year, I can't keep up sometimes, I did a video on how I prep my brass or how I clean my dirty range brass. Pretty good video, a few folks liked it. So I thought, well, you know what? It's cold outside, let's follow suit and I'll tell you the next step in the process that I use to get my brass prepared to be hand loaded. Now just to recap, or maybe I didn't even bring it up, but just to tell you, put it to you this way and how I do it, the process that I use. All my dirty range brass, as soon as I get it, I punch the old primers out of the brass using a universal decapping die. Then I would run all the brass through my stainless steel tumbler to clean the brass. And the next step is I would anneal the brass. So folks may ask, Dan, what is annealing? And why is it important? What do you even need to anneal brass for? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into four things or four concepts for me. And I want to say that this is strictly my way of doing things. There's a whole bunch of ways to do it. I really don't like to do how-to videos. I like to do how I do videos. These are the four important things to me that causes me to anneal my brass, and I'll share that with you. And if you fall in line, great. First thing is, annealing is a process of heating and cooling a piece of brass so it regains its malleability. The second thing is, if you don't anneal brass, over a period of time, the brass itself will get brittle and eventually it'll break. That's where you get your head case separations, you get split case necks, things of that nature. That's where that falls into play. The third thing annealing does for me is it actually extends my brass life by annealing. And in the long run, it does actually save me money. And the fourth thing is annealing has, in some of my rifles, improved the accuracy of the rifle itself, which is, in my opinion, always a good thing. Dan, in the simplest form, you have told us what annealing is and why you anneal your brass, but what do you use to anneal your brass? Well, let me show you. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to show you what I've been annealing my brass with probably for the last maybe year and a half, 2 years. I'm super excited to show you another piece of equipment that I just acquired. So I'm going to spin you around, I'm going to show you. Okay, this is a machine that I've been using to anneal my brass probably for the last year and a half, 2 years or so. And this is an Annealese machine. Very simple in nature and has a PWM controller, 2 wheels, a rack. Simple. Here's just an old piece of 300 blackout brass. Brass sits on this shelf. When you turn this machine on, these wheels will start spinning. The brass will fall into this notch right here, and it will roll around and fall into the next notch, and you would have some flame right here, such as this torch. And as this piece of brass is spinning or turning, this torch would be heating up the neck where the neck meets the shoulder. So that is the machine I've been using for several years. Works really great. It has some limitations. We're not going to go into that, but I'm going to say I've been following a company for several years called AGS Customs. The difference between the one behind me and the one that I'm fixing to show you is the way that it anneals, or the manner in which it anneals. So yeah, I'm super stoked about this. I'm gonna spin you around, we're gonna open it up, and I'm gonna tell you about it. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, this is an annealing machine that I acquired from AGS Customs, and we're gonna open it up. And the first thing that you're gonna notice is how small this box is. This machine is extremely compact. If I'm not mistaken, it's 6 inches by 6 inches, so it is an extremely small annealer. Now, the one thing that I want to point out, and I'm going to bring it up real close to you, is where this annealer is made or manufactured. Made in Serbia. Yeah, you heard that right. It's made in Serbia. What I'm going to say is I have never purchased anything or bought anything outside of the country, but I'm here to tell you I have done tons of research on this company. I've watched a bunch of videos on folks that have purchased from this company, and I'm going to say that I have reached out to Stefan, the fella that owns the company, via email, and I'm going to tell you within, I want to say 1 or 2 hours, he emailed me back with an answer to the question that I had. Now, what I'm going to say is AGS Customs has several different versions of this annealing machine, and I'm going to get this one out of the box. And I'm here to tell you this thing is packaged nicely to prevent the machine from getting damaged. I'm going to tell you that the machining, fit and finish on this machine is amazing. AGS Custom Annealer. This annealer is the model 3.2 or the version 3.2 of his annealers. This is the newest one that he has put out, and I can't tell you how stoked I am to actually get this thing up and running and getting brass annealed, PWM controller, stainless. It's unbelievable. The workmanship is unbelievable. So I just wanted to do an unboxing of this annealer just to show you what it is and what it looks like. I'm waiting on a hose for my torch system to actually run this machine. But yeah, before we go any further talking about the AGS Custom Annealer, I'm going to tell you that I'm not sponsored by AGS Custom, anything like that. This is something that I purchased on my own to use over here at the Home of the Sticks on the farm to anneal my brass. So yeah, what I want to do is give you some key points about this machine. You can make up your own mind, but I'm here to tell you thus far, and I haven't even ran this machine yet, thus far I've been extremely impressed by what I've seen so far. So I'm going to point you back down. We're going to talk about some key points of this machine, and then we'll rock on from there. Before I do that, if you are a hand loader and you are looking for an annealing machine, I'm going to drop a link down in the description to agscustom.com, and you can take a look and see what he has. But I'm going to tell you right now, Stefan is running a Valentine's Day special. I think the sale is running from the 12th of this month to the 15th of this month, 10% off his annealers, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're interested, go there and check it out. Yeah, a lot of good stuff to look at. I'm going to point you down now. Quick edit right quick before we move on. In my overstimulation, I misquoted the name of the company. It is agscustomparts.com, not AGS Custom. Yeah, my coonassery kicked in. But anyways, I'm going to drop the link down in the description, agscustomparts.com. Okay, again, this machine is the version 3.2 for multiple calibers. This machine comes with several sets of the inserts. And when I say inserts, We're talking about these holes right here. There's inserts that go into these holes. I want to say that there's 5 sets of inserts that are included with this machine. The difference between this machine and the 3.1 version is this machine will run everything all the way up to I think it's 0.416 shot tack and 50 BMG. To run those two cases, you just leave the inserts out and you run it without an insert. They just sit in there. Another thing about this machine that is different from all of the other annealers that AGS has. For one, this machine, or this annealer, is a lot taller than the version 1 and 2, and maybe 3 if I'm not mistaken. The way that AGS fixed that was they have a riser that you can purchase to lift up those versions, lift them up to get some height. I think some folks were having some issues with cases, large cases, falling through the hole right here and standing upright and not falling, so the next piece of brass could fall down. That's what I gathered when I watched the video. And that's something else that drew me to AGS Custom is Stefan actually listens to the folks that buy his equipment. They're like, hey, we're having problems with this. Is something you can do to help us fix that issue? And he came out with a riser for the version 1 and 2 annealer, and maybe even 3 if I'm not mistaken. So this business actually listens to the hand loader or his customers, which is something that I really like. And I think I hit on it as well. The customer service is extraordinary. I reached out to Stefan, I don't know, maybe last year. I had questions about one of his machines, and within several hours I had a response. So that's thumbs up, A+ in my book. So let's move on. I think I might have said it, but this annealer is compact. It's 6 inches by 6 inches, extremely small. The inserts that are included with this machine are, and there's 5 of them, is 0.402 inches, 0.492 inches, 543, 622, and 661. That's in inches. For the folks that like millimeters, it starts at 10.2 millimeter and ends at 16.8 millimeters. So this machine will anneal a broad spectrum of cases, and that is why I went with the 3.2 version. Dan, do you have a 50 BMG? Nah, I don't, but one day I might. So I'll have a machine that can anneal those cases if I want them to. This machine also comes with 2 torch heads, if I'm not mistaken, and it will accept a 1/2 inch diameter torch. And again, there's no insert for the 0.416 shot tack or the 50 BMG. You leave the inserts out and just run it just like it is if you have those 2 calibers. So Stefan ships out his annealers with the torch head inverted. There it is right here. So all we have to do is unscrew this, unscrew this screw right here and invert it the correct way. Oh, and I didn't even open up the white box, and lo and behold, I have more inserts. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of inserts. That's going to cover everything. Another thing we have is this, and this is a Sharpie holder. So if you want to, some folks like to mark their brass so they know where they're annealing, I guess. I've never used one myself, but I could see where it could play a pretty smart role using this annealer. So that's included with it. Stefan sends this machine out with this power supply with several different wall plugs, US, UK, and EU, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to invert this guy right here, and maybe we'll plug it up and just see how it runs. So give me a second and we'll do that. So to take out this torch holder, this is a 3/16 Allen, Just gonna unscrew it. All we're gonna do is invert this to where it's sitting on top. We'll screw it back in. There we go. Okay, to invert the torch holder itself, this is a number 3 metric. Just loosen it up. It'll allow me to invert the torch holder. And to lock it down, just cinch it down a little bit. This 3mm screw allows for your adjustment up and down, and also the angle of the torch head, which is really, really nice. So I'll just cinch it down just a little bit. There. And as you can see, it's not moving. Okay, let's put some of these inserts in and run the annealer, well, minus the annealing part. And it's pretty simple to swap out calibers. Basically, just take these inserts out, swap in the insert that you need for the case-specific cartridge that you're trying to anneal. I'm waiting on my hose to come in for the torch setup, so I figured why not just we'll have some make-believe time here. Here's a torch head. I'll just simulate what it's going to look like. Look something like that. I'll get y'all off that tripod and show you exactly what I'm talking about. And these are the inserts for, I have a piece of 223 brass. We'll set it down on in there and we'll turn the machine on and see what it does. Now this is the point where I'd have to do some adjustments as far as the annealing process goes once I get the torch hooked up. But as you can see, the case head actually is spinning while it's being annealed. And I'll take y'all off here in a second. Moves to the next station, boom, drops out. And again, once I get my hose set up and I hook this thing up to my tank, I'll show some annealing. But this is just the gist of what it's going to look like. I'm very happy with the machine. Love the finish. Love all the inserts that you get with it. And I really like the fact that the torch holder is adjustable. You can move it up and down, in and out for whatever caliber that you are trying to anneal. The fit and finish on this machine is extraordinary. They put together a really nice annealer, I have to say. Just to wrap it up or sum it up, this is a 3.2 version of the AGS Custom Annealer. Comes with 5 sets of inserts that cover pretty much any kind of rifle cartridge that you could think of. 204 Ruger, possibly, all the way up to 50 BMG. This machine comes with the power adapter. It is included. It's not included on versions 1, 2, and 3, I think. And Stefan also sent the different country adapter plug things. So I guess if I'm going to Spain or something and I want to anneal something, I'll look here. I'll have the adapters for it. But there you go. The AGS Custom 3.2 Annealer. Super happy with it. Well, all right, that's what I wanted to share with you and y'all today. Lord have mercy, a hand loading video on a very important piece of equipment that I use when I hand load, reload my own ammunition, and that is the acquisition of a new annealer made by AGS Custom out of Serbia, and the 3.2 version, the newest version of the annealer. I'm here to tell you, I am super happy with it. Have a few questions about the machine, but by no means a deal breaker. I'd buy nothing if I have to, but super happy. Again, what I'll do is I will drop a link down in the description to AGS Custom Parts.com. If you're interested in this annealer, you check it out and you decide for yourself. But for old Dan, it's a show enough winner in my book. So again, I hope everybody is having a show enough good week, and I hope you stay safe amid this crisis that we still have going on. If you like this video, go and give it a thumbs up, they help. If you haven't subscribed to the Home of Six channel, Lord mercy. Y'all need to come over here and give old Dan a look, because I'm always doing stuff like annealing brass on a new machine. With that being said, you know it's coming. Dan Referee, show enough, always gonna say it. Don't let nobody doubt your shine. And I mean nobody, sure enough get your shine on. Be you, it's important. And Dan will see you and y'all in the next video.